My name is Kezia Manje, aka Kez the Fashionista. Serving my late 20s. I am a proud mother of 3, 2 boys and 1 girl. Currently living at Nyahururu town. To start with, I am a severely heartbroken, discouraged, disowned, and an insulted woman. But currently, I am a glowing, charming, inspiring, and above of it all, a go-getter lady. To start with, actually I've schooled around. I went to my primary school at Ngarenaro Primary School and later joined Ndorori High School. But while in Form 2 at the beginning of the year, I transferred to Gataragua Girls, where I completed my Form 4. Later on, I joined St. Anne's Institute and I did some few courses. But in the process of the courses, previously in Form 3, I had met this guy by the name Washira, and while in my college education, I actually got married and didn't finish my education, and we actually decided to form a home, and we did. I got married at the age of 18 years, and we actually felt that we had achieved so many things that people of our age had not achieved. So would feel good anyway. In my first year of marriage, I wasn't able to conceive, and we actually had some ups and downs, and people would talk ill about us. But because we loved each other, that was not a problem. So in my second year, I was able to conceive, and I got a baby boy by the name Jackson. Yeah, so life was good. Previously, my husband was an employee somewhere, and he was actually earning 7,500, and that is what we managed, and we would pay our rent, feed, and now the baby is here. So you can imagine 7,500, we've got rent, we've got ourselves, we've got the baby, and I was actually a CS victim. So you can imagine my needs, my whatever's, I needed special care, special diet, yeah, and above of it all, I needed a house help. So amazingly, my husband resigned his job. So I was a bit worried because now he has resigned. He got the bills, we got the kid, ourselves too, and at some times our family used to depend on us. So it was somehow weird, but I didn't know what was in store. So he stayed for a whole year, hustling here and there, and surprisingly, when he was employed, we used to live in a very cheap house. But this time round, he has resigned his job, yet we vacated to a bigger house and a more expensive house than the one we had previously. So anyway, what I want to say that God came through and everything went as planned. So in his second year of unemployment, we managed to open a shop of ourselves, and I was actually the one who was managing while he was doing field work and looking for clients, searching for customers, delivering for customers after we've done the work. We were actually doing printing and stationaries, office equipment, deliveries, yes, all those. So I was the one in the shop while he was in the field. So we managed. So on our third year, things started going as unplanned. Because he started being so insecure that I was bonding with the customers more than he thought. So he would feel so insecure, so he wasn't even able to do his field work. He would go after an hour, he would come back. After a few minutes, he would call, who are you with, what. So insecurity started, and I would feel so much surrounded, like he's all over me, he's everything, like ako tu hapa, nikifanya tu kitu lazima ajue. Anybody who comes in the shop, whether he's a customer, a friend, a family, he must know what we discussed, he must know what we talked about. So I was feeling out of place, and I didn't want to show him, because I felt maybe he's doing all this because maybe he loved me, because after telling my friends, they would tell me that man loves you so much. So I wouldn't like to discourage him. So I said, it's okay. So I would try as much as I could to avoid people. Okay. Now, the problem was, customers would come, and when they find him, they wouldn't leave their work. They would actually say, where is Kezia? And when he like says, ayuko karibu, they would just go. So he was like, mbona ume-engage customers that much mpaka wakipata mtu mwingine hapa hawezi acha kazi yao, lazima ukue hapa. So I was like, now I am serving the customers in the right way, and they are getting used to me, but to you, you have other issues. So we actually dealt with those issues with no good outcome. So on our 4th year, I don't know whether things went good or bad, but I got my 2nd pregnancy, and that is where the problem actually it didn't start. It actually upgraded, because now he thought now he had captured it all. So I had no authority over anything. What we actually had a joint account, and there is no any single day I had access to that account. But I would save. Come a day and I need some cash, he would tell me there is no money, that money is planned for what. And I was like, there's no problem. So there came a day I went and found a good, it was like a furniture. So I said, let me go, because this money we've been saving to build ourselves, to have a good life. So I just told him, just withdraw some cash for me so that I can buy that stuff. He told me that money is not for furnitures. What is in the house is enough. That money is meant for other things. So I was like, what things? You see, now I'm still in my 2nd pregnancy. So before I actually announced my 2nd pregnancy very early, because I had some complications with the first CS wound. So as I was going for checkups, that is when the 2nd pregnancy was realized. So it was realized in like a month or less. So in my 2nd month of pregnancy, I felt things are becoming difficult for me. So I decided I want to go for work one early morning. So I stayed at home. When it was around 9, he called me and asked, why have you not reported to work? So I told him, I'm not feeling well, I will come later. He told me, go to the hospital and immediately you are treated, just go to work. But back in my mind, I knew I was not going back there. So he called me later, have you gone to the hospital? I actually lied and said, yes, I have. What have you been told? I've been told to go for bed rest, because the previous wound wasn't fully healed, and now that I have another pregnancy, I'm at risk. So he told me, which is that, doctor? Blah, blah, blah. I told him I went and I actually was sent to a gynecologist, and he actually advised that, but it was a lie. So in the evening, he came and asked me, where are the doctor's notes? And I told him. When I went to his clinic, he actually attached to my file and told me, let them stay there. I won't go back. I won't go with them. Yeah, so that is now where my life in a cocoon began. Now that I've refused to go to work, I was entitled to staying at home, raise the kids, work. There was no house girl. There was no anybody to help me with my pregnancy, with the other kid. Everything was all about me. And anytime I would ask, he would tell me, now that you're not going to work, stay at home, raise the kids, listen to your pregnancy, whatever it's saying, because he used to tell me that I am reacting to my pregnancy. I told him, it's okay. So I would struggle, really struggle. You can imagine I'm in bed rest. I have a kid. I have my pregnancy. I have other house chores to do. And everything was overwhelming. It came a point I felt that I need to go home. But I said, let me not just go. Because he was providing for everything. Actually, what was bothering me, when I go home, will this man be providing for me and the kid? And now that I'm expecting another pregnancy, what will happen? So I just decided, let me just stay. Now that he provides everything, he pays the rent, he settles the bills, everything is sorted. So I just stayed. So the process of my pregnancy went well, and the day to deliver came. Actually, the second pregnancy I was given a choice of either to toss or to choose an elective CS. So psychologically, maybe because of the things I had gone through previously, I wasn't ready to toss. So I just decided, let me just get another CS. So he asked me, why are you opting for a CS? So you just go and push. Because when you get another CS, you're going to be weak. You're going to complicate things. And I actually told him, no, I am not ready to push the baby. Let me just go for a CS. It is too different with the normal birth. So I think the cost was his issue. But I just decided to go for the CS. So I just went. The baby was removed. And actually, she was a healthy baby. That was my second born, Lucy, Jewel. And now we went back home. My friend, that is where everything went wrong. Actually, not everything, but most of the things as per then, they weren't going as planned. My life was so, is it complicated or what? Now, there's no going to work, raising kids, healing myself, house chores are all yours. Everything is you and you and you. Now, other rules arise. There's no wearing trousers, there's no wearing short dresses, there's no wearing tight skirts. So the only option I was left with was long dresses and skirts, nothing else. So the rest was boundaries. And I actually didn't find it harsh because I still felt I loved this man. So I thought he was telling me that out of love. But I didn't know it was all about insecurity. He used to feel so much insecure. Like when you dress on a trouser. And just to remind you, when we were dating and when I was getting married, he knew me in trousers. He knew me in short skirts, not as short as you think, but short skirts, short dresses. But when this time now has come, there's no wearing trousers, no shorts, no short dresses. So you can imagine the torture. So I had to go back to the shop and shop newly. I had to change my wardrobe fully. I wasn't used to long dresses. I wasn't used to long skirts and baggy tops. So my life continued to change. And now it was worse because now my movements were also tamed. There was no going out just anyhow. I had to seek permission, and above it all, he would leave money, yes, but the problem was anything you need in town, around the center, yani outside the home, he used to shop for everything, including vegetables and fruits in the market. So just stay at home. And again, I was restricted to talking to young girls. He would say, young girls who are not married will just help me lose my marriage. They have no advice. They know nothing about marriage. So there wasn't any permission to talk to young girls. And you know, those were my friends. Because despite of being that I've gotten married at that age, doesn't mean that my age have rushed. It's just an extra milestone now from my friends. So I wasn't allowed to talk to my friends. Those were now the young girls. And now the wamama wa ploti. He used to quote, wamama wa ploti wako na mushene, watakupea mambo ushangae. So anytime he would call, asikie kelele like we are out at yuko kwa nyumba, he would ask, oh, umeenda kwa wamama wa ploti? Uko wapi? Mbona hukuniambia ukitoka? Ulienda kuendea nini? Ungesema nikuje nayo ama niipeane. So I was like, most of the times, if I'm not around the house, if he calls, I would either reject the call or not pick the call. Like, akiniuliza namwambia, I wasn't around the phone, ama my phone was charging, my phone was in the bedroom, such issues. Because now nilikuwa najaribu kupunguza hizi mavita nini. So we continued. But now, in my 3rd month prior giving birth to my daughter, he started issues. He would go for 3 days, no information, nobody knows where he is, no money, and the phone is switched off. Like, we don't know where he is actually. And now I would call everybody in the family, is so and so there? Like, they would ask me, hakukwambia akienda? Hakuniambia. Nini ni mbaya? Kwani mumekosana? Hapana. Basi maybe alienda kazi. And I would say it's okay. So he would switch on the phone. Akipata nimejaribu kumpigia, anazima tena. So now in my 3rd month, I felt now things are too much. All these things are overwhelming me. I'm not yet healed. I'm having a baby, another one, and everything in the house is looking at me. So I felt I just need a break. I just called my mom, and I just told my mom everything. My mom, on hearing that, he just told me, just come home. So I packed and went home. We stayed hours, days, months, and now almost close to a year, I decided to pack back. You know why? Because he refused to come for us. He would say, my mother is harsh, he'll not be able to face her. So I had to come back because I felt, okay, elderly people would advise me, go back to your home, you'll never live at your place, you have outgrown your home, so just go to your marital home. And furthermore, the more you continue staying at your place, you're giving that man a chance to do whatever he was doing previously, or to do other things that he would not have done when you were there. So I just woke up one day and decided I will go back. So I had looked for a job, and that morning I told Mom, I won't be going to work early, I will go later. So my mother prepared herself and walked out. So that was my plan. After she went, I packed because I knew when I tell her I'll be going, she will refuse. So I had to pack. I packed. And in like 30 minutes, I had prepared the kids. I was prepared and I called a cab. I actually had my keys and he had not changed the padlock and the lock. So I went, opened the door. How the house was looking, it was all in a mess. I don't know even the last time it was mopped. Yani the house was so stuffy. It was dusty. So on seeing how the condition of the house was, I actually called my boss and asked her to excuse me for that day. I'll report to work the following day. So she told me there is no problem. So I tidied up the house. But in the process, I don't know who told him that I was around. So in the process, I was actually washing his clothes. He just came and he was like, oh, umeamua kujileta? Sawa. And I was like, what is wrong? He told me, nilikuambia mimi. So akaniambia, mimi sikukufukuza, hivyo tu venye ulipak ukaenda, hivyo tu ndio umejirudisha. So I was like, I felt so bad because me, I knew from our tradition, when a woman and the kids goes back home, the husband is supposed to come for you and negotiate on what had made you go home. But on my case, it was different. He never cared. You come back or you don't, I don't care. So I just decided, there is no problem. I'll just stay for the sake of my kids and to satisfy the society's wish, because the society wish to see you in marriage. Anytime you get into a marriage, actually, let me talk of the society because it's actually the society. It declares that is a life sentence. So anytime you try to walk out of that marriage, everybody will be busy bringing you back to that marriage. So I had now to live their wish. Let me make them happy. Let me make them see what they want to see. But deep inside, I had started suffering. I raised the kids, raised. Actually, this time round, I didn't agree to stay at home. The same place I was working, I continued working even after coming now back to this man. Would actually fight. Okay, not literally fighting, but like we had arguments every day, every morning, every evening. He would tell me, you're getting late, yet you're not earning money that can pay even this house that you're staying. Why can't you just stay at home? I'll provide for everything, food. And I would tell him, now that I was starting to feel that, you know, now I had started getting my own money and I wouldn't like that source to be cut. So I had now to nikuwe ngumu kidogo. So I told him, wacha kwanza ni prepare my boss psychologically atinaacha kazi plus nimpe time ya kutafuta mtu mwingine. So that is how I would go. That is the reason I would give every morning, like, ajapata mtu mwingine, and he would tell me, siwache kazi, uone kama atakosa. So I told him, venye amenishikilia that period I have been there, siwezi taka nini kumwacha na madharau. So akaniambia, it is okay, just let her find somebody who will suit your position. I was like, it is okay. So I continued working. So the more I was working, on meeting clients, I would feel that I want to talk to clients, not only about business, but now about life, about reality of life, because I felt I was living a lie. So I would meet a client, maybe she's an older age, and I would actually raise a topic. Now, in the process of the topic, I would introduce my life, not directly, but I would introduce in a way that now we are addressing my life, but she don't know. So I would use like an example of, my friend, I've done this and this and this, and now because she's of an older age, she would at least give me advice, and she would tell me, tell your friend to do this and this and this, and not to do this and this and this. So I went on gathering, and I felt I didn't have to lose this job. I need this job more than ever. I am not going to resign this job. And that is actually what I did. Now back in my mind, I knew I wasn't ready to resign. But in front of this man, I would actually show him how much I want to resign the job, how it is tiresome, how that lady is delaying to get another person. So he would actually tell me, si hata wewe umsaidie kutafuta. So I would tell him, mimi venye nakuwa busy, siwezi pata time ya kutafuta, na watu wenye najua hawawezi qualify. So he told me, yeah. So time was still passing. So in the process, I actually, okay, let me not call it a mistake, but it was a horror. Because when my second born was 1 year 7 months, my third pregnancy was announced. But let me tell you, that same day that I announced to him, he quoted a statement. Ati, sasa na ulikataa kuzaa, ufungue account, uanze kusave pesa ya operation. And I actually laughed because I thought it was just a joke. But let me tell you, these words started being relevant. You know how? When my pregnancy, now the third pregnancy was 5 months, I requested for money to shop for the baby. And he actually asked me, didn't I tell you to save for that baby? Okay, previously he had said that his maximum kids are 2. So if I get more than 2, that one is mine. So I actually never thought it was that serious until now it came to reality. Now, no money for shopping. Yes, I was working, but even though I was working, my mind wasn't focused on like, how could he abandon his own baby? No. So it went on that after insisting on shopping for the baby and getting prepared financially because of the delivery, he actually woke me one night and told me, I am sure that baby is not mine, and I am not catering anything for him or her. Actually, to me, that was a wake-up call. It felt so disappointing, but I had no option. I had to take it and swallow it. It was a bitter statement, but I had to swallow it. I had to swallow it and start from there. Start acting from there. You've disowned the baby. And previously, you had said that I'm supposed to save for this baby. Anything. Delivery, shopping, what, anything. So, now that I was working, I had 4 months remaining. But now, the 4 months, I wouldn't work all of them because, remember, I had now 2 previous cars. And they were still making me feel weak and I wouldn't work much. So, I felt I wouldn't manage the 9 months. And now I'm 5 months pregnant. So, it's like I had 2 full months to work. And now, maybe the last 2 months, I wasn't sure whether I'll be working fully. Like, nikienda kazi leo, the following day, maybe sitaeza kuenda. So, I had to work. I had to work hard. So, I focused my mind on saving. I saved for everything. like those 2 months, I had managed to shop for the baby, and I actually had everything, and I was now ready. I knew even if I went to deliver that same day, I would, okay, I just opted maybe I can go to a public hospital. Yeah, so I had to cut that cost. So that is what I did. I shopped for the baby and waited for the delivery day. In the process, between these 5 months and the delivery time, so many things happened. I was admitted in the hospital for premature labor. My pressures were so uncontrollable just because he used to pressurize me so much. He used to do so many weird things that maybe I will address later. But so many things happened in the process. But all in all, I managed to deliver my third born, but he was delivered prematurely. He was actually weighing 1 point something kgs because I wasn't in a position to feed well. I wouldn't manage myself. I wasn't able to take supplements. So, and sometimes I would even miss checkups. Maybe because like I'm going for a checkup the following day, and the previous night we've had fights, we've had disagreements, and now on waking up I would feel I am so depressed. Yani I wouldn't have any energy to work, so I would miss checkups. So when this premature labor comes, I was admitted, and the labor was kicked off for some few weeks, but it actually became uncontrollable, and there was no any other option. The kid had to be removed, as premature as he was. He was actually less than 2 kgs. He was 1 point something, but we managed. He scored very well, and he didn't even go to nursery. He was a healthy boy. So on seeing my baby, just to mention, that day that I was going to deliver, I had bought some medicines, actually poison, and I wanted to poison myself with the baby because now things were too much for me. I was unable to control them. I was feeling when I go telling people what I'm going through, they'll see a failure in me. They will not see the person I am. They will see a failure. So I decided I have to deal with this thing myself. So the only thing that came in my mind was, actually, do I call it suicide? I didn't actually know, but that person who sold me those tabs told me I may not die, but the baby will be terminated, and if I will not have somebody to save me in the shortest time possible, it might also affect maybe my internal organs. So I said, now that I'm feeling so overwhelmed and it is all about this pregnancy, so at some point I would feel I want to terminate it, and the other hand I would feel when I'm terminating it, let it leave a scar that I will live to remember. So that is why I opted for those tabs, so that even if they damage one of my organs, I will live to say that organ was damaged because of maybe the termination, because I felt that is not what I wanted, but something was pushing me. And this thing was the pressure that I was getting from this man. Now, my family would come, because when they come in my house, they'll find everything. The kitchen shelves are full, everything, the bills are settled. So they would never think that I am going through anything. And now, I am very secretive when it comes to my personal issues. So, my mom would ask me, hey, Mohana ate, toriega fio, nanike kiuru, namwambia, ni mimba inanisumbua. So she would tell me, wewe wacha kufanya kazi, wacha house girl afanye nini, afanye kazi. But at some point I would not have a house girl and things were supposed to be done. I have now 2 kids to look after, and now the pregnancy. And now the kids needed more attention than the pregnancy, of which health-wise the pregnancy was more delicate than the kids. So I had to know how to balance. So sometimes I would work and feel now, no, I have to rest. But on resting, when you see things going the wrong way, you just wake up, give yourself some energy of which you don't have. You are just imagining you have the energy, and you start working. On working, things go worse. So this time round, now I've delivered the underweight baby, the premature baby, but we went home. Now on going home,